How does the Paladin shape up against the Hunter? And in fact,
Oh,
just as I say that, that's the matchup we're going to see. So D2 on the bottom here on the Paladin is going to go ahead and keep one of those, obviously anticipating some early Hunter aggro. And you can
yeah.
see not a lot of early threats in the hand there for Modern Leper. You can assume mulliganed away.
Yeah, you must D2 here. This is going to be a mid-range hunter. And Consecration is always good anyway because you still have to deal with those pesky death rattle dudes, which are going to stick on the board and cause a lot of trouble for you.
Well, there you go. That's a better hand. Undertaker, Leper Gnome, Coin. That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, and the Argent seems to indicate that this is a much more aggressive hand, aggressive deck that is than you would initially expect from the current metagame, which is very mid-range oriented.
Double Beast Sergeant and a Haunted Creeper to follow up on turn 2 as well.
And this is a bit problematic here for D2 because getting Undertaker, Leper Gnome, Undertaker, Web Spinner, or Clockwork Gnome is obviously the god draw, but it's concede worthy up with Death Rattle. Until the turn 2 comes up and you see the turn 2 Death Rattle, you can sometimes hope for a really good chance at coming back. But this is really tough. At least there's a True Champion to deal with, awful follow-ups.
Oh, and there's a Web Spinner as well. So much damage already in the hand for Modern Leper.
Yeah, Haunted Creeper protects from Consecration, and then the follow-up turn 3 can just be dump double abusive into Web Spinner. Like, the aggression is incredible here in the in Modern Leper's hand.
This is absolutely insane, and the Paladin just doesn't have what it would need to deal with any of these threats.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Starting hands like these for somebody who's playing a Golden Hunter is very standard. Because if you're a Golden Hunter, you know when to find your Undertakers. And somehow the game seems to decide you're going to get them very much more often. It's just pure science right there.
I think we might have a slight issue with the spectator mode here because we haven't seen any... No, we are going to get the play there. Haunted Creeper coming down. I was just surprised at make that decision, to be honest. But he is going to clear that away and just start to pile on the damage. Sludge Belcher coming down, that could be useful in slowing this aggression in a couple of turns. But D2's got to be thinking if he's going to last that long.
Yeah, because right now he used Undertaker to kill the 1/1 as opposed to sacrificing the Leper Gnome. The obvious drawback of that is now the Undertaker is vulnerable to a True Silver Champion. The thing is, it's still going to retaliate for 4 damage. So it's not that big of a problem if it ends up dying to the True Silver because you'll have the Web Spinner and your Abusive Sergeants out on the board at that point. And the only thing that they can do is try to consecrate. But if they do that, then they leave the Undertaker up. Basically, it's a no-win situation here for the Paladin. And what I say by no-win is every play he makes is just a problem. Like, it's weak in some way. There is no optimal way to approach this.
And even if we were to see a second Death Rattle come into the hand, maybe another Web Spinner, another Leper Gnome, something like that, the Undertaker could go back out of range of the True Silver again.
And what's really good though about the hand of D2 is that he's got all his array of removal. The removal that he needs is there. Everything is sort of to go. What he needs to do is try to queue it up and avoid too much burst.
There's that first kill command coming into hand. Do you opt for the hero power here? Or are you trying to throw down pressure on board?
Oh, I think I'm almost just... I don't know, I would tend to go all in here, just because Consecration is not a threat due to the big protection from the Haunted Creeper. And if he does True Silver Champion and takes retaliation damage from the Undertaker, then I can still pound away at his face with 2 1s and a 1/1. But it could be a good considerable play, just to, a single abusive play.
Or even a Web Spinner to buff the Undertaker yeah. Power. He's going to trade the Leper Gnome into the Knife Juggler.
Yeah,
thinking very hard in this place.
Yeah, it's sometimes you have to think hard, but I feel like the way that his deck runs, he has to just go all in straight up against Paladin because there is no play on turn 4 that is going to come back from this for Paladin. I mean, Consecration is not even a problem for you because you still have sticky board.
8 damage Undertaker. That is disgusting.
Yeah. Now 17 health on turn 4. That's it's pretty tough.
You've got 2 choices here. Consecrate, or you can use the True Silver Champion to clear the Undertaker. I almost feel like that's the optimal play because then you're not popping the spiders, you're not popping the Web Spinner.
The problem with playing True Silver Champion is that you're attacking the Undertaker. Board clear on the following turn with Consecration because you can then pop the spider, but you're opening yourself up to a lot of kill command pressure since you're leaving beasts up. So in the immediate sense, you're gonna take a lot more damage.
Sure, and in fact, looking at the damage that we've got here, well, there's 4, 5, 6, 8 with the hero power, 5, 13 with the kill command
Yep.
in effective damage. It's starting to look really scary if you're D2.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a knife juggler hero power if you're thinking that he's going to pop the spiders.
I think you can just kill command hero. You can just kill command straight up and go face and keep the juggler for when you play another minion. Because once he goes down to 13, he uses his true server to pop the spider and then consecrates, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, if you play a knife juggler here, consecration is going to be a bigger problem. Is it not? No,
possibly
apparently not.
but he
I
is
mean, I
gonna get
guess.
the knife juggler.
Okay, so no kill command. I hope he's not missing out on the opportunity to kill command for 5 here, because that 2 damage is essentially the same as getting 2 damage off of popping the spider.
Yeah, he's gonna have to hope that if the web spinner gives him something that's 2 mana or less as a kill command active.
Because any would get, I wouldn't say, I think it would get stopped pretty hard. But then again, he knows his deck better than we do. If there's a lot of charged minions and no taunts get established, that's still winnable. A lot of his stop decks, I'm sure, are going to give him lethal in some way. I mean, weapons work, charged minions work. A lot of things really function for him.
Even things like explosive traps in a hyper aggressive deck can create a horrible situation when you're at this low health.
Yep. All right, the only play that made sense is getting made here by D2. He's going to go down to 6 health because of the knife juggler. The hunter has 5 damage in hand and only 5 mana. So right now, if no charge minions that hit for a huge amount are getting top decked, D2 might live. Oh, and he got the low attack, the low cost beast.
He
That's
gets
not
the
a Wolf
Wolf
Rider
Rider.
hero power. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe this.
So D2, unless you can deal 28 damage in one turn, this game's gonna be over. Modern Leper.
Anti-Killbot could save him. Could it? No, it's too late.
No,
the
it's
game
too
the game
late.
is wow. This is not the hunter you expect. It is the hunter you deserve, I guess. I don't know how to put it. It's just, I mean, it's just so painful to look at this because you don't see any more of those hyper-aggressive hunters in the metagame. Savannah High mains, the Dr. Boom. You don't see much Glaive Zuka charge action up in the metagame anymore.
Glaive Zuka, we saw Wolf Rider
Yeah.
coming in there. That's
Like, it has to be
that's a-
hyper-aggressive. It's just the most hyper-aggressive hunter possible.
we saw double abusive sergeant. We saw, as you say, the Wolf Rider come. This is a hunter deck, and if you're looking at the Warlock of D2, which is a handlock deck,
Yeah, this is not good. This is not a good way. You're not happy about facing this. You are not happy at all. And we have to be honest here. Let's be frank. The draw from the hunter was
disgusting.
yeah, it was incredible. He didn't even need any card draw, no trackings, nothing. Just straight up, oh, let me get the perfect start and the double abusive and put you in a position where every turn 4 play you make is going to be locked down.
There's no
and
freezing trap. There's no
this is
hunter's mark to
painful.
get through. It's just it's all face all the time.
Yeah, some people call this kind of deck face cancer. I just call it metastasis because it tends to spread even further than its initial iteration, and just people copy it, and then it becomes shocky all over again.
Well, this may well be the first time we see us getting into an unscheduled game if this one finishes quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
You can see Noctis has beaten Riducat as well, and he's at 2-0 now in his record. So
Yeah.
he's sitting pretty in his group, but all the other games are still playing, so we should be able to bring you something else if this game... I mean, is there any way that the Handlock can beat such a hyper-aggressive Hunter deck?
If you start with Moltons and somehow manage to turn the game around, but you have to be very reckless with your life taps, oddly enough. It's stupid to say, but if you need Moltons. If you don't have them, the game is beyond over. Anti-heal bots can buy you some time, but it tends not to even get to turn 5. If the hunter has a slow hand and he's got, he's stuck with Wolf Riders and somewhat mediocre minions, then that can help as well. But the hunters, but they will build their deck in such a way that if they're running 2 Undertakers and they're on the coin, right, it's pretty obvious that you mulligan everything and you have a 60%-ish chance of getting an Undertaker. So getting Undertaker is not that uncommon, and at least you're going to get 1 drops on average.
We see the Web Spinner and Leper Gnome in the hand straight away from Modern Leper.
With the Iron Beak Owl as well, amazing against Handlock for the Twilight Drakes.
He's going to be looking for an Undertaker, though, to get that start off again.
Yeah, can you really justify mulligan? I mean, you can mulligan the Eagle Hornbow. I assume that is a manageable thing, but the 2-1 draws with Death Rattle are too appealing to throw. They are weak to Mortal Coil, however.
If you throw back the Ironbeak Owl here as just an all-in play of trying to get an Undertaker, is that absolutely crazy?
I think it is. I really do think it is. I think it's
Yep, no,
such a
absolutely.
risky play. You can't really justify it.
And D2, he said he needed to get those molten shards. There is the Undertaker coming in on turn 1.
And he didn't even need to mulligan more than one card. Do you know? You know the odds of this happening are somewhere around the 40%. They're not unlikely, right? But they're not that great. They're like 30%
crazy.
It's still
You
nuts.
get Undertaker Leper Gnome on the coin 2 games in a row. This is the sort of thing where you think no matter what player is on the other end, this could be the world champion Firebat, this could be Kalentil, this could be any team of pro players all playing together, and this deck would be able to trample them.
Because Undertaker Coin Leper Gnome leaves your Undertaker vulnerable to Dark Bomb, right?
It does indeed.
So do you just wait one turn to go Undertaker Coin Leper Gnome Web Spinner? Because right, like if he Dark Bombs this, you're kind of you'll survive.
Yeah, so he's gone with the Undertaker straight away, and the owl comes out off the top for D2. That's a great draw.
That might be like no Molten Giants. Let's be honest. But right now, at least there's been some kind of there's a trade. He's forcing a trade with a Face Hunter. Who would have thought?
And the Face Hunter is going to have some sort of identity crisis here.
Yeah.
And hopefully D2 is going to be able to exploit that confusion.
Yeah.
To establish. Here comes the Web Spinner Leper Gnome.
Alright, the Undertaker asserting his dominance over the Owl. You could just go face and ignore it, quite frankly, because he's going to have to trade anyway. Okay, never mind. He doesn't want to lose his Leper Gnome.
A Big Game Hunter coming out for the Warlock. I guess you can go ahead and slam that down.
Yep, you put that
force
down.
Another
force
trade.
Yeah, force all the trades. That's the name of the game.
But actually,
until you can Hellfire safely.
As we were saying here, this is actually a reasonable strategy for the handlock, because it's almost as good a strategy as anything in this matchup. Is
throw everything in the way.
Absolutely, force a Face Hunter, and getting that owl. The top decks from D2 have been perfect in these turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, and the Undertaker didn't get the value that that was wanted by the Hunter here, obviously. So
and he's gonna go ahead and use the Abusive Sergeant to get even more damage in.
Yeah, I mean Leper Gnome, you don't want it to get silenced accidentally, like as a result of some kind of Ironbeak Owl, a rogue Ironbeak Owl just going in and hooting you. Do you just play Defensive Argus as a bot? Because I mean Hellfire here doesn't make any sense, right?
This is a horrible Hellfire play.
Yeah, do you just like Defensive Argus, force a trade into something and then loath him on the following turn?
He's gonna Hellfire.
Wow, he better find that Mortal Coil.
That feels very desperate indeed. He gets another Undertaker with in hand. So actually this turn for Modern Leper is feeling pretty clunky. Do you look at maybe coining the Tundra Rhino here because you don't have another play? And if you can keep that charge of the Tundra Rhino, that could really mess your opponent up.
With the Owl? I mean, he knows there's no Savannah High Mains here. Like, D2 is not going to get worried about Savannah High Mains. But the thing, there's a Loatheb right now in D2's hand. So that is going to, if not do anything for kill commands, contest the board for a little while.
He's going to throw it in the Undertaker and the... Not keeping the Wolf Rider as a finisher like it was in the last game.
Mm-hmm. No, there's no reason to at the moment.
He's just choosing to pile in the damage. And there's the anti-heal bot.
That's got to feel good. So do you just play Loatheb right now and then drop the heal bot? I feel like that is a much stronger play.
Yeah, definitely. You got to think that's the strong play. But I just say D2's keeping himself in this as much as is possible. I mean, he was already dead by this turn in the last game, so this is an improvement.
This is an improvement. Well, Paladins do have Muster for Battle, but if they don't find it, though, like Consecrations against Undertaker starts are still really problematic. You need to find Outdoor Peacekeeper to negate some of the damage or Muster for Battle. And in the case of Handlock, that Ironbeak Owl was crucial. And then just a little 3-2 to stop. And that mana is going to be important. That is a really important mana.
Absolutely.
That Shadow Flame on Defender on turn 8, possibly. Wow. I can't believe what I'm looking at.
All face for Modern Leper, and there's the Mountain Giant. But that's not going to be useful.
You have to anti-heal bot, even though it sucks. I mean, Shadow Flaming is not an option because he can just kill you from 7 very easily. You know how it is.
I mean, so in terms of alternative plays,
He's Shadow Flaming?
He's Shadow Flaming the Lothep. Wow.
I thought he was just going to trade, and well, is he dead? He's not quite dead, but he's almost dead.
He's actually
Almost
he is.
dead.
He is
No,
dead because the Eagle Horn Bow Hero Power coined Explosive Trap.
Yeah, but the explosive cannot trigger until such a time comes as.
But I mean, he's definitely dead at some point if he plays.
Well,
the
no,
Explosive
Defender
Trap.
of Argus is. I don't know. I feel like Defender of Argus could carry a little bit. If Defender of Argus gets laid down at any point here.
I guess he's, D2's gonna have to go ahead with the anti-heal bot next turn.
Yeah, no, there's no question about that. He just has to find taunters and
And
multi
he
giants.
gets good anti-heal
Wow,
bot and taunt it up here.
This is great. This is just great for him.
Could D2 pull off this improbable comeback?
Honestly, I'm going to say no because Tundra Rhino R&B Cowl. But I've been wrong before, and I hope I'm wrong again.
So the Rhino's gonna come down, and that's one off lethal
Yeah, always
for Leper.
so close.
That's the second time he's been just a couple of
There's
points.
gonna be 3 off lethal this turn because he doesn't have the mana to do everything he wants, obviously. But on the following turns, if no healing comes in, if no Jiraxis comes in, if no Siphon Soul, Earthling Farseer, second heal bot, if nothing happens, then there's a slight chance that D2 manages to hang on with his handlock, and that would be a victory for the game as a whole. The world would rejoice.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, here comes the owl.
Yep, and here it is.
Or is he? Is he considering a different play here?
I mean, Sludge Belcher would worry you quite a bit if you were to owl this, but you still have to do it because you have so much reach in your deck if no other taunters come up. Like, look at the amount of damage. He's low on health. And Defender of Argus is the only saving grace.
Yep, so
Got
Soul
to be
comes
kidding
down.
me. Is this could this work? Could this actually work?
he's gonna heal back up to 6.
D2 is currently praying, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't know. Oh no. Is this? No, he doesn't have it yet. No kill commands in hand. The Unleash the Hounds is not lethal yet.
It's not lethal yet.
But actually he's on 2 health. How does he
And he can...
actually how do no.
I mean, he could have played the Explosive Trap this turn.
He could still play it this turn, not that it matters much. Just coin it out right now.
But yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's just going to play absolutely everything. The Explosive Trap is up, so the next time D2 attacks face, that would kill him off. Does he have... I mean, he's got to be hoping for more... And here's the anti-heal bot!
Plus the Defender of Arcus. This is a devastating blow to that pride for the Hunter. Oh my goodness, Hunter. The world is rejoicing at the moment. Reddit is probably exploding with tears of joy.
This is insane.
This is incredible luck here on D2 Spark, but he played it well. He maximized his chances, and there is still a chance he doesn't win, though. It is not yet...
Modern Leper does not look happy with what's going on here.
Yeah, definitely not. There's no way I'd be happy against one of my best matches to the double anti-kill bot. That is excruciating.
Sunfury Protector, Defender of Argus.
But there's an Unleash the Hounds. Wait, he did not trade the Sunfury into anything.
No, he didn't pop the Explosive Trap.
But I would have attacked maybe a minion at least. But then again, he has to trade them anyway, so let him do it, right?
Sure. He's not even going to be able to clear both the Taunters here.
This is devastating here for Modern Leper.
He's one off having enough damage to even clear the taunts, let alone
But this
get through
is a good play though. He can just wait it out and put the minions on 2 health each and just wait for the kill commands.
Sure, you got to be thinking about that. He's done it with one of them. Is he going to go ahead and...
You can put him on a clock, basically. You're forcing the Warlock to top deck win conditions right away.
Yeah. And if you start top decking, if you were to top deck into your Arcane Golems or Eagle Horn Bows and things like that.
Yeah, the game is actually not over here for Modern Leper. He doesn't even have to clear anything.
Oh, he's still probably in the driving seat of this game, but
Yeah.
it's just insane that D2 is still alive. I mean, I would question how many times Modern Leper has even seen turn 10 with this deck. And there's a Sludge Belcher. That's just going to be taunts for days.
Do you even taunt right now, or do you just Doctor Boom away into his hounds? Because you want to remove the beast for kill command. That, I think to me that is a pretty clear turn.
Sure. And, you know, explosive trap on those bombs, that could mess up whatever Modern Leper is planning here.
Mm-hmm. Because you can kill the 3 hounds, you know, Defend of Argus and the 2, maybe just the 2/1, you know, you just throw it away. Use one of your 4/2s to kill the other hound, then you might drop Sludge Belcher or Dr. Boom. But I feel like removing the beast is a mandatory play here for D2.
Sure. Is there any sense in dropping the 10 mana Mountain Giant here and trying to apply that counter pressure?
Actually, let me think. Mountain Giant plus Dr. Boom into Trigger Explosive Trap. Does this lead to enough damage output to be worth it?
He's going to go for the Dr. Boom. And
yeah,
actually,
definitely.
Things are looking bad for Modern Leper. He doesn't get anything he needs to clear these taunts. He gets an abusive Sergeant.
He's going to bite his... Wow.
Another
Ring top deck
Farseer
from D2. Do you ever stop D2? This is amazing.
This is insane. I mean,
Right,
we were talking coming into this match. We were talking coming into this thinking, okay, so this game's over. We're going to have to find another match to cast because this is going to be over so quickly.
I'm actually really excited to see... I wish I could see Modern's Leper's face right now. I don't have his camera right in front of me, but he's got to be shaking his head. If you... Because, I mean, you sacrifice... I'm assuming the anti-heal bot, because if it, because it's a freezing trap, you're up. You know, you're up in value.
Sure, and the bomb's gonna go face, and they're both gonna go face for damage here once the explosive trap is off.
And then Earthring Farseer into the excruciating Sludge Belcher for.
So now they're both on 7 health.
Is there even a way for to win here? I can't think of one.
Modern Leper is dead.
Oh,
so
and he commits Sudoku. Good at those numbered games, and Headlock gets away with the win. I'm actually mind-blown.
What is going on?
I'm gonna say it's top deck town right in this place. And D2, you know what? This is justice for not getting Aldor Peacekeepers, for getting the perfect Undertaker draw on game 1. It is just the retaliatory, you know, Hearthstone karma just coming back and biting the Face Hunter in the butt. Now we're gonna have a really more, I guess, a more interesting game this time around. What with the decks that are going to be played? Headlock again, which is a very strong deck against Mage. It's again a really weak matchup for Handlock. Because, I mean, since the addition of, you know, anti-kill bots and whatever, it's been a little easier, but it is still very tough, because they only have to burn you in one single turn.
Sure, so we're going to see the Handlock against the Freeze Mage here. This is not going to be an aggro matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It's going to be a very different matchup. And in fact...
Get your drinks.
I mean, you have to give credit to D2 there, but even just being able to make those decisions on the Handlock, because... You're playing, in that matchup, you're playing Handlock in a way that Handlock was never meant to be played.
Yeah, you're playing tempo, you're playing mid-range Warlock at that point. That's pretty much what he was playing. He was playing mid-range Lock. There was no Handlock at all in this entire lineup. It was one of the weirdest playstyles for Handlock to embrace. But ultimately, those top decks from Anti-Killbot and Earthling Farseer teach us a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Never concede until you see your next card. It might just be the one. And that was a nasty streak of top decks.
The heal, that was, I mean, D2's top decks all through that game were pretty great into what you needed.
Definitely.
The Owl, the healing, the taunting, even the big game Hunter on turn 3 to force the trades. Yeah. Like we said, forcing those trades made all the difference.
Throw everything in the way. It's like you're just throwing anything you can find in your way, you know?
Well, I mean... 2 down to 2 health or 1 health, and it made such a huge difference that he had taken 1 or 2 damage off the board in those earlier turns.
Yeah, because he would have taken a total of about 4 extra if he hadn't been able to top deck the BGH, and that would have spelled lethal for the Owl. Hunter. So, yeah, the Owl as well. So everything was.
I think you're right. I think that's 4 damage, and you know the Undertaker could have snowballed as well.
That I'm just impressed here. But then again, we have to say that the web spinner giving the Tundra Rhino was also a pretty decent outcome here for Modern Leper, because that allowed him to get an instant attack with the Iron Beak Owl that he played.
And that, I mean, that felt like the thing that was going to save Modern Leper when the match was slipping away from him. That Tundra Rhino was going to be absolutely crucial. Yeah. But that matchup was just absolutely insane. You're never going to see a matchup like that again in a tournament, I don't think.
I would love to see one, but this is D2's chance to recover from the. So first of all, they both lost their first match, right? Their first games today. So
Sure, so
this
this
is
game is
kind of
absolutely
the
crucial.
elimination game. Whichever loses this has. Does he instantly lose because there are 3 rounds, or?
Sure, so I think a 1-2 record means you're out. There's
Oh, all
no
right.
way for
So
you to come back. So the
yeah,
loser of this game is out of the Challengers League, and the Sunfury Protector does come into hand for the handlock.
yeah. I
Doesn't
don't
get
know
the
how you're
Mighty
happy
Giants of the
about that.
Twilight Drakes.
He might be playing around potential mech mages, but freeze mage. Like I don't know. I wouldn't be that happy facing freeze mage's handlock. Obviously.
Double Ice Block in hand for Modern Leper as well on the Freeze Mage.
Yeah, Mad Scientist's value gets diminished tremendously in this case.
How do you rate this matchup, Noxious? Who do you think is the favorite here with Freeze Mage versus Handlock?
I think before GBG it was almost too favored for the freeze mage. It still, to a large extent, is in many ways because you just burn your opponent down when they're not ready. Oh, the Lotheb is going to play a very important role in this game.
And the Twilight
Wow,
Drake as
so
well.
many secrets here.
It's
Yeah,
coming out for Modern
this is
Leper.
good.
The Mad Scientists are going to have basically no value here. In
Yeah.
fact, I assume he only is running maybe even two ice barriers, but
He already
instead of
topped like the first one.
yeah, instead of coining the Twilight Drake, he opts for the Sunfury Protector here, D2.
Which I think is the better play by many, by miles, because you're not trying to protect yourself against minions in this case, right? It's never going to happen. And if you ever have to protect yourself against minions, you still have the other defensive Argus, and you already top decked your second Sun Fury. So at what point will you need anything from this little 2/3 than a body? You want to be able to trade with Mad Scientists, maybe force removal, be able to whittle away the mage's health before it's too late. So that could be very important.
And it does mean that not coining out the Twilight Drake means that he curves very well into the next 2 turns.
Exactly.
There's Twilight Drake on turn 4 and a Lotheb on turn 5. And Lotheb, absolutely crucial in this Freeze Mage matchup.
I would venture to say that Lotheb is probably going to be kept for those the turn where he expects to be unleashed on with
So he's got a
Frostbolts
Sludge
and Ice
Belcher for turn
Lances.
5 instead.
It's gonna be amazing though, either way. And no Mad Scientist is getting played here because he knows that it's just a sacrifice to the Sunfury Protector that goes nowhere.
So he triggers the secret just to check it's not Mirror Entity, because no one wants that.
And the worst possible top deck here is Ice Barrier, because that means the Mad Scientist will guarantee 0 value.
Absolutely. He is going to play the Mad Scientist out here. I guess try and force a trade with the Sun Fury.
Yeah, but can he even afford to? I don't think it's relevant. You just go all in.
And he's going to put up an Ice Block.
Yeah, you can't really afford trading here. You just have to try to whittle away at the mage's health before he can actually stabilize and unleash on you.
Okay, so is this going to be a Sludge Belcher turn, do you reckon?
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense to me. He has a
Particularly as
Silent Soul in case something drastic or problematic occurs.
In fact, he's going to go for the Defender of Argus and just try and pile in the damage. I think he probably recognizes that that is an Ice Block, and he needs to try and run that Ice Block out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, in theory, it could still be a mage that runs duplicates. So playing the Defender of Argus, I mean, mirror entities and duplicates are still played in some mage. So playing the Defender of Argus ensures that you're playing around secrets. And that's kind of one of the criticisms that a lot of people have had, myself included, about mirror entity, is that even if it's not that card that's getting played, you still have to play around it. And that's causing a lot of lines of play to get altered slightly, to the point where sometimes you'll play something like a Defender of Argus instead of a Sludge Belcher.
We were actually we were discussing this before, that particularly yourself, find as your playstyle, you could be often too pessimistic playing around things that might happen, and it can really mess up your lines of play and kind of tunnel vision your strategy a little bit.
Yep, most definitely. All right, the telegraph has been sent to D2 here. I am planning to wipe your board. Damaged a little bit at a time.
And he has to know one of these secrets is more than likely an Ice Block at this point.
Yeah, he's seen Ice Barrier. He's seen. He has to assume the other one is Ice Block, and now he just goes all in.
So it's a second Ice Barrier.
Yep. And the mage is on turn 7, and Flame Strike is going to give a marginal, if any, value. There is no Frost Nova to go with the Doomsayer in hand right. So, quite frankly, this is not looking too bad.
No, I mean the only thing that the freeze mage could do to clear the board would be to use both his ice lances, and you don't want to be doing that because you need that for burst damage.
Oh, you can't afford to do that. You have to hope that maybe Flame Strike will buy you some time, I guess. But you're taking another 8 in the meantime.
And
Oh,
there's a
wow.
mountain giant coming into hand.
Oh, I can't believe this. The handlock is putting so much pressure on the mage right now.
Do
There's
you
no
go for
polymorph, there is nothing.
antique healbot as well? And that's
Yeah.
going to be so crucial.
Bring it on, Alexstrasza. I'm ready. Yeah, you know what though? How much damage does he have in hand with a frostbolt, 2 ice lances? He's not
Uh,
quite there yet. Not quite to the lethal, not at all.
is it what, 17?
With the 2 ice lances? No, not even
Yeah.
that, because it's 3 plus 10, so it's only 13 damage at the
Only
moment.
13, sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
It's,
for 10 mana, he could get close with fireballs, but he's only on
yeah.
7.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry, with the ice lances and the fireball as well. He has that much damage in hand.
There's 19 sitting there waiting to be used, but anti-healbot.
Acolyte of Pain, that's not what he needs.
I think you still have to develop it and possibly just ping it to get a
And
card
hope-
draw and hope for Nova and Doomsayer for the following turn. But then again, there's R&B Cowls. You haven't seen a single one. You haven't seen a single Siphon Soul.
And there's a Siphon Soul sitting in hand for D2. So the first Doomsayer that comes down is going to be completely neutralized.
Yeah, and the Lotheb and anti-Killbot just say, you know, whatever you think you're going to throw at me, I'm going to deflect it right away. Alexstrasza, you setting up a lethal through spell usage, that is not going to work.
Absolutely. This is a really good position for D2 at this point.
The second Flame Strike comes in the hand. So do you Ice Lance the Giant here to make sure that you don't get your first Ice Block popped on the following turn?
I feel like you've got to at this point. I think you really, really need to stall the popping of that ice block, because that's what's absolutely crucial, is that you can manipulate possible the 2 ice block popping turns. That's really how Freeze Mage wins, is being able to control when those ice blocks are popped.
Yeah, but he's not in that position right now. I mean, he might be hoping for a second Fireball to be able to deflect. Oh, that is a nice play. I do like that. This is going to force a here from D2. If the Ice Lance goes down on the Giant... But then again, Iron Beak Cowl and Siphon Soul.
Yes, I mean Siphon Soul. So he is going to use the Ice Lance on the Giant, like we said, but so he's not going to be able to get the ice. And there's the owl coming into hand.
So do you Iron Beak Cowl your Giant and Siphon Soul the Doomsayer?
Do you? You could, but that feels like a lot of removal to effectively to kill to get over the Doomsayer. Do you maybe keep Siphon Soul for another Doomsayer, or even for something coming down like Alexstrasza?
Well, the thing is, if after Alexstrasza comes down, all you have to do is drop a Lotheb. You know, it's really that simple. You just stop the turn for a little while. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, either way, this Doomsayer is not triggering. That's pretty much what we're getting at here. This thing is just not triggering. But getting 16 damage in right now would put the mage in a really awkward spot. If you just silence your Giant and hit for, 16, he's going to be on 2 health. That makes it much, much easier for you to kill him. And Alexstrasza as a follow-up to save him doesn't even save him. He needs to play the second block, and then...
In fact, actually, the ultimate Alexstrasza comeback on turn 9, Coin, Lotheb, Anti-Keelbot. I mean, that's just the ultimate counter.
Yeah, that is ultimate counter. There's no way he can actually recover from that. If he draws Alexstrasza, he's going to have to Alexstrasza himself. That's how bad this is.
He's actually going to go ahead and trade rather than use the Siphon Soul. I guess like we say, he's trying to use the Siphon Soul, keep it in reserve for something that he might come into later. Arcane
Frost
Intellect.
Nova needs to be top decked very hard. And, there's something to be said about Dr. Boom in this matchup as handlock. Or they can't wipe your board if he's there. If they're low on health and he's on the board, they can't Flame Strike, because if the Boom Boss go to their face, the Ice Block does not trigger, which leads to instant loss. It's like the Leper Gnome syndrome.
What to do?
It's a difficult turn here for Modern Leper. I guess he's going to try and dig for more things with Arcane Intellect. He can Arcane Intellect his Acolyte of Pain here to get 3 more cards and hope for a Frost Nova, like we said.
I think Iceland, maybe just Arcane Intellecting and Ice Lancing, because Flame Strike is still a decent play. You could Flame Strike the board and then Ice Lance the Giant, just to stall a little bit.
I think you probably ping the Acolyte first because you can
Yeah, but then you can't play Flame Strike. It doesn't. You have to get Nova at that point. He's all in on Nova.
well, he's still able to play Flame Strike if he pings the Acolyte, but you can also hope that he gets Blizzard, and then the Icelands comes out. Doesn't get that, gets a bloody Thalnos. So he's gonna go ahead and play the Flame Strike.
This is a really awkward position though, because he knows his Ice Block is likely to go off. Although currently in the hand of D2, oh never mind. I was gonna say we don't see enough to pop the Ice Block. And you know what? I think this is a death sentence. Pop the block with the Dark Bomb, then drop Dr. Boom. And then there is nothing left for the mage to do.
Absolutely. So D2, from what seemed like an impossible position against that Hunter, it looks like he's in the driver's seat here. He's going to drop...
Just Lothar. Alright, he doesn't want to get OTK'd, but he's already seen one Icelands. I guess he wants to play it hyper safe, which is understandable.
I mean, this is a very, very safe play, but it's a very, very sensible line of play from D2. It means that he's putting up taunts, so even nothing can go to his face. He's got so much damage on board that can't be cleared. Blizzard would keep mod return if D2 doesn't top deck another Dark Bomb or another Silence.
And he says, thank you, D2 is BMing. After seeing the Face Hunter, I guess the salt kind of goes up to your ears a little bit, and it just starts pouring out. And one of the release valves is the thank you emote.
You know, you never want to be the first person to look like an asshole on Hearthstone, but when he's already played the Face Hunter, it feels like all bets are off.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? That's fine by me. I don't really...
Oh, second Ice Block, Explosive Sheep.
Yeah, and so I guess you just played Boom
we
Boy.
talk about secret value. We talked about Mad Scientist value being diminished. How about the value of an 8-mana Ice Block?
Yeah, well, that's sometimes the only play, unfortunately. And now, I mean, you can't play Dr. Boom here, can you? I mean, I think you attack the sheep with your... I mean, yeah, Dr. Boom would only spawn one bot. So maybe you attack the...
I think you Mortal Coil the sheep.
Yeah, your own Watcher, yeah. No, you could
I was going to say you could Mortal Coil the sheep, and that will clear the board enough for you to play Dr. Boom and just assure victory.
So many
and then hit him in the face with your Giant.
Just because you can.
Because you
I think you sacrifice the 2/3 and just draw Boom, because it frees up space, and it's fine, really. In the end, it's all the same. Yeah, Alex Straza doesn't save him. Wait.
In fact, he's looking at very, very safe play and thinking about Antique Healbot.
He does not even want to bother with it. He's like, you know what? The protection from the board wipe, I don't need it.
Antique Healbot Sludge Belcher, and he's looking for a perfect game here, is what he's looking for. Yeah, 30-0.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe this.
What a matchup here, D2 coming back from that Face Hunter matchup.
Yeah, as I said, it's one of those things where like pretty hugely favored pre-GVG, but post-GVG with the addition of anti-healbots and Dr. Boom, I feel like it makes it a bit easier because you basically get a, hey, you can't wipe my board, and if they don't find their Novas very early with Doomsayers, you're going to have a much easier time of it.
Okay, so this is going to be a Thalnos Blizzard turn, I think.
Yep, and it's going to be a Dr. Boom Shadow Flame the Boombot turn.
Wow, yeah, that's that's insane. Oh, that's gonna be a crazy lethal, and that's gonna get him his perfect game. So, is D2 gonna do that?
He has to see it.
He's been so reluctant.
What?
He's Mortal Coiling the 1/1.
Oh, that's it.
So
the BM, the top deck lethal.
He had lethal in hand with the Shadow Flame Boombots, but didn't need it because he top decked an Owl, and that's going to be such a sweet victory for D2.
Yeah, I would be, if I were him, I'd be pretty happy about this one. All right, well played, D2. I guess that means he's going up 2-1 against modernleper, which actually took the first game off that Paladin.